are with other people. So I want you to think about, what have you been tolerating? I'm going to throw something out there that many of you probably haven't thought about, because I know I have a room full of servant leaders. One thing I identified earlier this year that I was tolerating is allowing myself to take on more work than I should. I'm a supervisor at my investor, and I was taking on more work than I should, and I was doing a lot of the work of my employees. So I was tolerating allowing them to slack off or not pick up their full workload while I had to work extra hours to try to get that work done. So I was tolerating people not living up to the standard and expectations that I had, right? So I want you to think about, whether it's in a relationship or just in life, what have you tolerated? Take a minute to write that down. Have you tolerated men cheating on you? Have you tolerated on people disrespecting you? Have you tolerated being the side chick? Have you tolerated being called just a friend when you really wanted something more? Have you tolerated have you tolerated him not calling you back? Have you tolerated him not taking you out on a real date? What have you tolerated? Somebody saying inappropriate things to you. Have you tolerated somebody saying things to you and speaking in your life, or speaking negatively about you, or trying to criticize you when they didn't have the authority to do so, or trying to undermine your credibility? What are you tolerating? Have you tolerated him pursuing you for a sexual relationship? Have you tolerated him lying? So take a moment. I want to spend just a minute here of what have you been tolerating in your life. For the married women, some things even in your marriage, some things maybe with your children, some things maybe on your job. What are you tolerating in your life? I dare to ask somebody to share. You can just come up with me and tell me, or maybe I'll come to you, one or two things that you have tolerated. And I also want you to spend a minute here asking yourself why. If you can figure out the why have you tolerated it. And as you do that, I'll tell you, for me, the reason why I tolerated people not meeting my expectations and taking on more work is because I wanted to try to